My business partner told me, "You're not on the paperwork anymore." I smiled and said, "Congrats." Then I opened my email and forwarded one message. By lunch, everyone knew the truth. I was 37, a man who managed vendor contracts in Savannah, Georgia. Brandon Klein was my business partner, 35, for 6 years. The stake was our 5-year office lease and a $125,000 credit line. He tried to erase me to impress investors, and I chose myself. I kept my mornings simple in the Starland district. A 2-mile walk, quiet streets, one stop for espresso. I liked predictable things. Clean invoices, clear clauses, signed agreements. That was my flaw too. I believed paperwork could keep people decent. Our office sat off Whitaker Street above a yoga studio. It smelled like lavender and fresh paint. On my desk, I had a chipped enamel mug, white with a blue rim. Tessa teased me for it every week. "It looks like a camp mug," she said. "It's loyal," I said. The mug went everywhere with me. It made me look harmless. Brandon looked like the opposite: sharp haircut, loud shoes, big plans. He could sell salt to the ocean. We ran a small procurement consulting firm, fictional name, real work, Cypress Ledger Consulting. We helped hotels and restaurants control spending. We found waste. We tightened vendor terms. The work paid well if you stayed steady. Brandon hated steady. He loved the chase. Every month he wanted a bigger client, a flashier pitch, a new logo. In City Market, he'd point at tourists. "See that crowd," he said. "That's money walking around." He said things like that a lot. He treated people like numbers. He also treated me like a lock he could pick. I handled the contracts and compliance. Brandon handled relationships and growth. That split worked, until it didn't. In early February, I got a call that changed my week. The number was from Raleigh, North Carolina, a recruiter from Suncrest Hospitality Group. They wanted a director of vendor compliance. A real title, real support, real budget. The salary offer was $148,500 plus $21,000 in relocation help and a 9% retirement match. I sat at Collins Quarter on Bull Street. I stared at the offer email. I watched the subject line like it blinked. Subject: offer details, vendor compliance director. That subject line mattered later. At home, I told Tessa on our small porch. We lived near Victory Drive. Rent was $21.50 a month. We saved, but not fast. She was honest with me always. "This is big," she said. "It's also scary," I said. "Scary can be good," she said. My mug sat on the railing. Steam curled into the humid air. I took a slow sip. I pictured a new city. Then I pictured Brandon's face. He never liked when I had options. The next day, I told Brandon at the office. He stood by the window facing Habersham Street. He tapped his phone like he heard music. I laid the offer letter on the desk. The teal lanyard with our office keycard hung from my belt. Brandon's eyes dropped to it, then to the paper. He didn't pick it up. "Raleigh," he said. "Yes," I said. He laughed once short. "That's a shiny badge," he said. "It's a better job," I said. "It's a distraction," he said. He leaned in like we were trading secrets. "You don't leave now," he said. I kept my voice flat. "I'm considering it," I said. He waved the air like it was dust. "We're about to land the Delmaris deal," he said. Delmaris was a fictional client name we used in our pitch deck. In real life, it was a wealthy family office. They were connected to Brandon's fiancée's parents. That was his second motive. He wanted to look powerful to them. He also wanted their money to cover his debt. He never said that part out loud. He said this instead. "They want stability," he said. "And I'm stability," I said. He smiled without warmth. "Your paperwork," he said. That one hit me, not because it was clever, because it was true in his mind. I picked up my offer letter. The lanyard bumped my mug. The mug clinked, a small sound. It sounded like a warning. I told him I'd decide after reviewing our commitments. He nodded like he'd already decided for me. That afternoon, I walked down Broughton Street. I counted steps to calm my head. Tessa texted me a heart and a question mark. I replied with a photo of my mug. She sent back, "Don't let him bully you." I didn't answer with words, because I wasn't sure I could promise that. 2 days later, the first odd thing happened. My keycard didn't beep. It flashed red at the office door. I tried again. Red again. I checked the teal lanyard like it had betrayed me. Behind the glass, Brandon looked up. He walked over slowly. He opened the door with his own card. "Oh," he said. "System update," he said. "My card worked yesterday," I said. He shrugged like I complained about weather. "You should have told me your schedule," he said. "It's my office too," I said. He held the door open, a fake courtesy. "Sure," he said. Inside, my laptop was gone. The mug was still there, but it was turned backward, like someone had rotated it on purpose. I reached for the mug. It was cold. My stomach went colder. On my chair sat a thin folder, not ours. No logo, just a printout with a staple. At the top, a heading I recognized, Georgia Secretary of State filing confirmation. It showed a change to our LLC manager. My name wasn't there. Brandon's name was, only his. I didn't shout. I didn't slam a drawer. I sat down slowly. I took a breath that tasted like dust. Brandon leaned against the doorframe. "You're not on the paperwork anymore," he said. I smiled because my body picked a mask. "Congrats," I said. He blinked, confused by my calm. "It's not personal," he said. "It's necessary," he said. "For the investors," he said, "the investors, his fiancée's parents, the people he wanted to impress at a waterfront dinner party." Not the band one, a different fantasy in his head. He moved closer, lowering his voice. "They said they won't fund chaos," he said. I looked at the filing page again. A forged signature sat near the bottom, not mine, but close enough to fool a casual glance. My flaw showed up again. I assumed he wouldn't cross that line. Now I watched him stand on it. I kept my tone even. "Where's my laptop?" I asked. He lifted one shoulder. "IT is imaging it," he said. "We had a security concern," he said. That was a lie, but it was a useful lie. It gave him cover for taking my access. He thought I'd panic. He expected pleading. He expected me to beg for my job back. Instead, I stood. I took my enamel mug. I held it like a small weight. I unclipped my teal lanyard and set it on the desk. "Keep it," I said. His eyes narrowed. "You're quitting?" he asked. "I'm documenting," I said. He scoffed. "Do what you want," he said. I walked out. The hallway smelled like lavender again. Outside, the air felt thicker. I drove 3.4 miles to my bank on Abercorn Street. I parked under a live oak. Spanish moss swayed like tired hair. Inside, I asked for a private room. The banker knew me by first name. Cypress Ledger ran payroll through them. The credit line sat there too. I didn't accuse. I didn't dramatize. I simply asked about account permissions. The banker pulled up the signature card. My name was still listed. For now, I pointed at the screen. "If someone tries to change this," I said. "I want to call first," I said. She nodded. "We can add a verification note," she said. She entered it. Then she printed a confirmation page. I tucked it into my bag next to my mug. The paper felt like armor. On the way home, I stopped at the Sentient Bean. I ordered a drip coffee, 4.25. I used my phone hotspot. I opened my email. I searched by subject. Subject, operating agreement draft, revised subject, DocuSign link, action required subject, Delmaris intro call agenda. The words sat there like footprints. I forwarded one message to myself and to Tessa. It was Brandon emailing our registered agent. He asked for an urgent manager update. He attached a PDF. He wrote, "Handle it today, keep it quiet." That was the message from the hook. It wasn't loud. It was proof. I also forwarded it to a lawyer. Her name was Priya Desai. She worked downtown near Oglethorpe Avenue. I found her because she did business disputes, not drama, not revenge fantasies, just law. Her assistant scheduled me for the next morning. Her retainer was $3,800. It hurt, but it was doable. That night, Tessa and I sat at our kitchen table. Our table was scratched. We bought it for $90 at a yard sale. My mug sat beside a stack of printed emails. Tessa didn't cry. She got quiet, which was worse. "He forged you," she said. "He tried," I said. She looked at me like she wanted to shake me. "Tell me you're not going to let this slide," she said. I stared at the email subject lines again. "I'm not sliding," I said. "I'm stepping," I said. In the morning, I wore a plain shirt, no power tie, no dramatic suit. I drove 2.1 miles to Priya's office. Her conference room was small, clean, a bowl of mints, a single fern. She listened without interrupting. That alone felt like relief. When I finished, she asked one question. "Do you have the operating agreement?" she asked. "I wrote parts of it," I said. "Good," she said. Then she asked another. "Any proof he accessed your accounts?" she asked. "My keycard failed," I said. "My laptop vanished," I said. She nodded, calm. "We'll send a litigation hold notice today," she said. "We'll request records from your agent," she said. "We'll notify the bank," she said. She tapped her pen. "And you'll stop communicating without counsel," she said. I exhaled, slow. My mug sat on her table. She glanced at it. "That's an old school mug," she said. "It keeps me steady," I said. She gave a small smile. "Stay steady," she said. I left her office with a plan, not a revenge plan. A containment plan. First, we secured evidence. Then we enforced the agreement. Then we separated. Brandon wanted chaos. I gave him procedure. Over the next 10 days, I moved quietly. I made a new folder at home, a real one, thick with dividers. Tessa labeled it with a marker. "Business," she wrote. Inside, we placed printouts and notes. Each section had a number. Section 1, Formation. Section 2, Bank. Section 3, Clients. Section 4, Emails. At Forsyth Park, I met with our registered agent. We sat on a bench near the fountain. Tourists took photos. Kids chased pigeons. I showed the agent the subject line printouts. Subject, Manager Update Request. He frowned. "I need to check identity verification," he said. He said Brandon submitted an online form. He didn't say more. Priya handled that part. At the office, I didn't go in again, not without a paper trail. Instead, Priya emailed Brandon, formal tone, clear deadline. She demanded copies of filings, access logs, and device handling notes. She also reminded him the operating agreement required unanimous approval for manager changes. Not optional. Not investor preference. Unanimous. Meanwhile, I accepted the Raleigh offer. I signed with a stylus on my phone. I didn't post. I didn't hint. I simply moved. The number mattered. 148,500 gave me breathing room. So did the relocation. We started looking for housing in Raleigh. We found a townhouse near 5 Points. The deposit was $1,650. We paid it without sweating. That alone felt like my body unclenched. Brandon, of course, noticed. He called me from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. Then he emailed. Subject, "Let's talk like adults." He tried friendly first. Then he tried sharp. Then he tried pity. Each email went into the folder. Each subject line became another rung. A week later, he demanded a meeting. Priya suggested a mediation session. That became our signature scene. Not court, not police. A mediator in a neutral office. Downtown Savannah near River Street. The mediator's name was Grant Howard. He looked like a man who'd heard every lie. The mediation room had a long table. A box of tissues, a pitcher of water, a clock that ticked too loudly. I wore my teal lanyard that day, not with our office key card. Priya told me to bring it anyway. "Symbols matter," she said, so I wore it like a reminder. I also brought my mug. The enamel felt cool in my hand. Grant began with rules. No interrupting. No threats, no grandstanding. Brandon nodded like a choir boy. Then he started talking like a salesman. He claimed I abandoned the business. He claimed he protected clients. He claimed the manager update was a formality. Priya didn't flinch. She slid a paper across the table. It was the operating agreement clause. Unanimous consent. Brandon's jaw tightened. Grant looked at him. "You had unanimous consent?" Grant asked. Brandon smiled too hard. "I assumed," Brandon said. Grant didn't smile back. "Assumed is not consent," Grant said. Brandon turned to me. "You were going to leave anyway," he said. "You were chasing Raleigh," he said. I kept my voice steady. "I was leaving clean," I said. "You made it dirty," I said. He leaned forward. "Don't act righteous," he said. "You're replaceable," he said. That insult was new, at least. Priya placed another sheet down. An email printout. Subject, urgent, remove Miles from manager role. Brandon's eyes flicked to it. He looked at Priya. "That's out of context," he said. Grant raised a hand. "It's very clear context," Grant said. Brandon switched tactics. He offered me a buyout, a number he thought sounded generous. 35,000. I almost laughed. Our client retainers alone exceeded that and a quarter. I didn't laugh, I just shook my head. No, I said. Brandon's face reddened. You're going to ruin this, he said. You're going to ruin my life, he said. Grant's gaze stayed flat. Your choices did that, Grant said. Priya asked one more question. Do you deny disabling his access, she asked. Brandon opened his mouth, then closed it, then tried another lie. It was a cybersecurity precaution, he said. I held up my teal lanyard. This was my access, I said. It wasn't a precaution, I said. It was leverage, I said. Brandon looked at the lanyard like it offended him. Then he stared at my mug strangely. Is that seriously your comfort object, he said. I took a sip. It's my reminder, I said. Grant ended the session after 2 hours. No screaming, no dramatic exits, just a written summary. Grant recommended we dissolve the partnership. He also recommended Brandon reverse the filing or face litigation. Brandon signed the mediation summary with a tight jaw. Outside, near River Street, the air smelled like salt and fried food. A busker played a slow song. I felt something shift, not triumph, relief. The payoff came quietly. 2 days after mediation, Brandon tried to change the bank's signature card because greed doesn't stop. The banker called me first, exactly as I asked. I forwarded the voicemail transcript to Priya. Then Priya sent a short notice to the bank. She included the operating agreement. She included the disputed filing. She included the mediation summary. The bank froze the credit line pending resolution. That line was Brandon's oxygen. He used it to float expenses and impress people. Now it sat locked behind policy. Clients began noticing other things too. Invoices went out late. Vendor disputes went unanswered. One hotel manager in the historic district called my cell. She asked why Brandon requested payment to a new account. I didn't accuse. I didn't rant. I said one sentence. Our banking instructions have not changed, I said. Then I emailed her a confirmation from the bank. Subject, payment instructions. Cyprus Ledger verified Brandon's lies unraveled like cheap thread. His fiancée's parents withdrew interest. Not because I told them anything. Because banks and clients don't like uncertainty. They like clean records. In March, Priya negotiated a formal split. We assigned clients based on who brought them in. We divided tools and templates. We terminated shared access. We set a non-solicitation term. Brandon fought every word, but he fought from a weaker place. He started the mess. I brought the map. During those weeks, I packed our life into boxes. We used 18 medium boxes, 6 large ones, no dramatic timeline, just steady work. In late March, we drove to Raleigh. Tessa followed in her car. We took I-95 for part of it. We stopped once for gas and sandwiches. The drive was around 285 miles. At the new townhouse, I set my mug on the counter first. Tessa laughed, a real laugh. Of course, she said. It's home, I said. The new job began in April. Suncrest's office sat near North Hills. I wore a badge that actually opened doors. I learned their systems. I reviewed 27 vendor contracts in my first week. I found a duplicate billing pattern within 9 days. I flagged it politely. My director thanked me in a team meeting. No fireworks, just respect. That felt like oxygen. Money changed slowly, then suddenly. We built an emergency fund. We paid off a $14,700 credit card balance. We started a travel savings account, nothing fancy, just choices. In the evenings, Tessa and I walked Glenwood South. We tried a taco spot. 2 tacos each plus a soda. We sat and watched people pass. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't bracing. Back in Savannah, consequences kept spreading. A vendor sued Brandon for non-payment. Not my doing, just math catching up. He had told people he owned the firm outright. Then he couldn't back it up with bank approval. He also tried to blame me quietly. He told one old client I sabotaged him. That client asked for proof. Brandon didn't have it. I did not post receipts. I did not call mutual friends. I simply stayed silent and consistent. Silence is not weakness. Sometimes it's discipline. In July, Brandon emailed again. Subject, "Can we reset this?" He wrote like he was tired. He admitted he felt pressured. He admitted he wanted to impress his future in-laws. He admitted he feared I'd leave him stranded. Those were his two motives, fear and pride. He asked for a call. I didn't answer. I let Priya respond. Short, professional, no emotion. In August, he tried the old trick. He showed up, not at my home. He came to my workplace lobby in Raleigh. Security called me. They asked if I knew him. I did. I walked down with my mug in hand. Yes, I carried it around now. It grounded me. Brandon stood near the elevator. He looked smaller. His shoes were still loud. His eyes were not. He swallowed. "Can we talk?" he asked. I kept my voice low. "Not here," I said. "Not ever without counsel," I said. His face tightened. "You're really doing this," he said. "I'm maintaining boundaries," I said. He tried one last angle. "You owe me a chance," he said. I shook my head once. "I owe you nothing," I said. Then I turned. I walked away. No speech, no victory pose, just a closed door. By the time September arrived, my life felt settled. We hosted 6 friends for dinner. We used paper plates to avoid extra dishes. Tessa hung a simple print in our hallway, a coastal scene, no mansion fantasy, just calm. 1 year after the day my keycard flashed red, Priya emailed me an update. The disputed filing was officially voided. Brandon signed a final settlement. He also paid a small penalty for improper filings. Not jail, not ruin. Consequences that matched the behavior. I opened my old folder and added the last papers. My mug sat beside it. I didn't feel anger. I felt finished. Here are the receipts that mattered most. Email subject, urgent. Remove Miles from manager role 02/13/2025 invoice CL 4472. Retainer payment. Q1 vendor review 02/24/2025 email subject. Signature card change request. Pending verification 03/04/2025 That evening, Brandon sent one final message. "I'm sorry for trying to erase you to feel important," he said. I replied once, polite and short. "I accept the apology. I don't accept you back," I said. I went outside after that. Raleigh air felt warm and still. Tessa joined me on the steps. We didn't talk about Brandon. We talked about weekend plans. A farmer's market, a 12-mile trail, a quiet dinner. I learned a simple lesson from all of it. Contracts matter, but character matters more. If someone needs to shrink you to grow, walk away. Peace isn't a prize someone gives you. Peace is something you protect with boundaries. Looking back, I wish I'd enforced access rules sooner. My boundary now is simple. Nobody updates me out of my own work. If I could redo one thing, I'd hire legal help at the first red flag. I don't hate Brandon, but I don't reopen that door. Choosing calm action over loud emotion saved my future. And the life I built after leaving is proof enough.